Okay, we're live. Um, Sorry. I'm trying to multitask here and it's not going too well. I'm giving it a shot though, which is kind of the key. Um, Anyways, it's a Zero Remorse in-house scrim here, best of one clubhouse. Um, Skinwalkers, which is apparently ZR Panda. I don't think that he's playing, but it's his team facing off here against ZR Phantoms. No, Spectres, sorry. I think Phantoms was another team that they have or had. I don't know exactly. I really should know, to be honest, but I don't. Sorry. Um, Anyways, to talk quickly about the bans and about these two teams. Bans are very straightforward. Thatcher ban I think is interesting instead of the Maverick, because this is a map where you'll see Maverick played pretty extensively. He is quite strong on this map, but it's generally that first ban is almost always some sort of secondary support. So not surprised to see that it's that, but I'm a teeny bit surprised to see that it's Thatcher instead of Maverick. Jackal and Cade are just two comfort bans, two very classic bans on strong operators. Um, and then the last ban is a Capcan. I do see that ban fairly often. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't think that he's terribly strong. But I'm not very surprised to see it, if that makes sense. My Canadian, who's playing. I just said he's playing. Why are you going to Wyoming? What's in Wyoming? Who wants to go to Wyoming? Who willingly goes to Wyoming? Like, why? Anyways, both of these teams fairly well established. I haven't seen them much in league play, around much in league play, which is unfortunate. I wish that there were more teams around, but let's see how this goes. I don't know much about them in terms of how they like to play. Still sort of trying to figure that out. Anyways, interesting to see this hold below from Spectres, this extension with that castle. We'll have to see how it goes. I do like it though. You know, it is obviously a bit pricey when it comes to the utility required, but it does allow you to pretty effectively hold down this lounge side and deny that vertical that could be very useful on this wall. So you can see now the ace of Brainiac. I'm trying to set down his Selmas on that wall, but it's jammed, so at this point he's gonna have to try and go through, get that done. Whoever's with at the ends of Troll Hunter, who I think he's already dead, strangely enough. I don't know exactly what happened. I think Recoil picked him off there. Mufasa trying to get a push down. As they've gotten this main wall open, they removed the mute jammer, so now they're going to just try and pressure this plat wall. But obviously the key here is that they'll need to get rid of Aintrip, who's holding down that Raptor side. He's going to be the real difference maker for Spectres. Brainiac catches Gunny going a bit aggressive. I think he was looking for a Nitro, but ultimately going against a player sitting right behind a shield on a wide open angle is just a death wish. I'm not even going to lie. And so now they're at a 4v3. This hole below has sort of been left empty. Aintrip's rotated around, so he's kind of making use of it. We'll have to see how he does that, if he's able to capitalize, really. But so far, Skinwalker's looking pretty good now. With about a minute left, gonna try and actually drone out this top floor, maybe look for some sort of pressure on con side. I don't really know why they're droning it, though, considering that they're not putting any pressure there. Like, they don't even have a player there. Now looking for some vertical play, possibly, as Mufasa is going to set to push this. Nitro goes out. Brainiac takes down Disco for a double kill here, as Rico is going to try and get a second for himself. Mufasa will pick him off, however. He's up to just Ballistic here. He'll get one, looking for a second one, possibly. Ballistic going to now Brainiac trying to get the plant stuck here. And Yazuyuki able to finish the round off for his team. Just a strong push there, really. I mean, it's harder to keep walls closed, especially that wall closed without a Cade. And so it was lost very quickly. And then the attacking team very quickly got some picks that were not responded to at all. once you lose plat wall, that site ends up being bisected, essentially. And so if you want to, from the attacker point of view, if you want to get a plant down, if you want to finish and execute, you basically have to get plant wall open. At the very least, smoke off red. And clear out rafters. And then you can plant. Obviously, you smoke it out right before you plant instead of, as soon as you get the wall open, but the point is that you need to get rafters cleared. And so what they did is they just played the numbers game. I mean, they took down Gunny, they took down, I think, Wyvers. I don't think he even really did anything. From what I've been told, he's just sort of an off-roster for them, filling in for a different player. But then, losing both of them, especially losing Gunny off of literally doing nothing. I mean, why even do that, Gunny? They were put in a 3v5, which is really difficult to recover from in any situation. And then Aintrip is sort of supposed to sort of be a stopgap, because we saw a very standard push there. I mean, the only thing that was kind of unique was the Osa shields, but even then, those weren't anything revolutionary. So Aintrip basically just gave up on holding rafters, which allowed default to be accessible. And because Disco also pulled out, and Aintrip didn't really set up vertical to possibly deny that, Aintrip, as you can see, going to now possibly be put under a bit of pressure here. Troll Hunter, I think, is looking to try and drone this out and actually spots Aintrip there, just holding down the angle. Aintrip's going to respond to just simply rotate away. I think that's the wise thing to do at this point. Probably wants to hold down this side of the first floor to prevent that vertical being set on that side of the objective. Now, actually, an EMP impact going out there. Brainiac able to get the wall open using all of his utility, which I think is ill-advised. But regardless, they do get that main wall open now, so they're going to be able to put some serious pressure on this site, and it's only a minute in. Gunny on the roam, holding this long angle here. I think he's trying to maybe get a kill, possibly, off of it. But strangely enough, with that wall open, we're seeing still 3 roamers and only 1 guy on site at this point. Actually, nobody's on site. There's not a single player on site. Why? I mean, you have players that are adjacent. You have Ballistic, you have Aintrip, you have Disco, but nobody is truly on site. I don't understand why. Half the round has elapsed. You have to start reeling back in your roamers. With a minute and a half left, who's going to be going over to Strip? Gunny, why are you over there? Who's going to be going to kitchen side if they're pushing plat wall? Somebody needs to tell them that they're pushing flat side, that they're pushing CC, and they're pushing rafters, and then rotate your roam, adapt. Instead, they're just going to sit there and be a non-factor, essentially make it a 3v5 on the objective. Aintrip, I think he might be eyeing some sort of aggressive play. He does need to be cautious because of that Claymore. Actually, no, the Claymore was cleared. Brainiac is dead now. Aintrip takes him out. Yazayuki able to get one, though, onto Wyvers. The Thunderbird, again, picked off as now there's a player on site. Trollhunter looking to make a play, stomped by Ballistic. Just a bit of a clutch play, able to secure that side of the site again, luckily, but really could have been bad there if he was able to get at least a single kill off of simply jumping through that window. So you can see Disco trying to fire a thing through the drone hole, maybe to get something done, but at this point, what is he going to find, really? Ballistic takes a bit of damage. He's now going to have to be a real key player. Low time in the round, pardon me. Disco takes down Mufasa. It's a 2v3, though, as I think Gunny just left for some reason. Yaza trying to push forward now. Low time, needs to get it done. Joined by Rico, who's going to swing across, takes down Ballistic. 2v1 here. Aintrip, the last one left. They're now pushing him. He's trying to get some cover behind that Kiba barrier. That'll be Rico pushing forward. Low time, able to eke out a round win for his team. Just no time left there. Pushing forward, Hail Mary completed. And it's now 2-0 for them. Ooh, I could hear myself for a second. What's poppin'? High school state playoffs. Wait, you're in Wyoming? bruh. Also, what sports playoffs are in November? Besides football, possibly.
Attackers need to locate bombs.
Shoot. I should have paused. I got distracted. That's on me. I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. I mean, Gunny didn't do anything in that last round. Didn't do much in the first round either, from what I remember. So, it's a 4v5. They're going to basement now. With the castle in play here, I do wonder what they might be trying to do. You know.
5 seconds left.
Because they could do a good amount of things, you know, most notably the sort of classic SSG heavy roam, but it's kind of hard to do that with only 4 players because you don't have that 5th op for to bring, so you might have to skip out on, you know, on Elysian. Probably don't want to skip out on the castle or the mute or the Mozzie. Troll is going to fall at the hands of Ancient, going to actually bring it back to even here. Good start here. 4 Spectres. He's going to actually just be a stopgap, really. Again, this Rafters play seems to be important throughout these first 3 rounds, as the last time it nearly led to a win for Spectres in the first round because Ancient abandoned it. I think that was what really gave up the sight for the attacking team for Skinwalkers. I mean, Mufasa swinging across. Now I think being joined by Yazuyuki. No, actually, that was just the bug nearby. Not really pressuring him here. Aintrip is on the roam now. I don't know if anybody's gonna join Mufasa in trying to clear him out, trying to pincer him. And Yaza just catches him with his pants down. That was a waste of a nitro, because I don't think he had any sort of intel. So, did waste some time, but could have been better. Brainiac takes down Ballistic, so that's a waste. Just a complete waste. Because Cav doesn't bring any substantial intel. Well, substantial utility. Doesn't really bring a whole lot when it comes to fragging power. So, that was just a wasted pick, honestly. And now, a minute left. It's a 2v4. Kitchen Ash being opened up now. There's nobody there to impact Trick it. I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity by them. Lions again going out now as pressure is on. Mufasa hot drops, I think, takes down one, and Yazuyuki will finish off the other. And I'm going to pause for a moment to see if Gunny will return. In the meantime, I will talk about these past two rounds. Okay, there we go. These first 2 rounds have been a mess for Spectre. Jeez. Okay, so I'm gonna unpause.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
These first 3 rounds have been a mess for Spectres. There's not really a strong roam game. There is some questionable op selection and team composition, which is sort of the same thing. I don't think that they have a real IGL. Some of these holds have been, they've been decent actually. I haven't had any real qualms over how they held CC in terms of setup or basement, but they've just done really poor execution, which is a bit more important than how you set up the site. I do like this play of the. I'm also intrigued by it, the play of the Pulse there, but to really capitalize on it, you'd want maybe Disco. I think no, sorry. For a second, I confused myself and thought that Disco had the ability to use a Nitro, but no, it's Barb and Shield. So you might want to have, you know, Aintrip or Gunny or Wyvers with their Nitro right next to Ballistic, because although he does indeed have that scanner and can use his Nitro, Gunny is going to take down Mufasa, able to get a pretty important kill now, as he's actually effectively just opened up the door for them to get a flank, possibly, because he's removed that possible flank watch. Is now Skinwalkers is slowly creeping up on Spectres in this third side. He's on the site now, able to catch Ballistic completely unaware, and they've now taken Arsenal control. That'll be one troll, and Yazayuki able to get a quick strike here, as seems to be the Spectres is just completely stunned. Brainiac takes down one, Troll Hunter gets Gunny, and that was sad. I'm just gonna leave it at that. There was no Barb, no Proxy, no Melusi Banshee, nothing covering that door. So there was no sound cue. I don't think Ballistic heard it. He wasn't paying attention. They sort of tunnel visioned on that hatch being open, and then the attacking team just stormed right in. They put all their eggs in one basket, and it paid off, because there's nobody there that was really paying attention. The roam is not doing enough, and the anchors are not doing enough. So there's just an overall failure, I feel. You know, they're obviously losing all their gunfights, evidenced by the fact that 3 of their players have a combined 2 kills, which is as much as the bottom frags for Skinwalkers. And there doesn't seem to be any real leadership here. I don't know, but there's nothing emerging here. I don't know if I would really hope that these walls were reinforced. I would assume that they were reinforced, but I can't say for certain, because, you know, it was very quickly, very easily opened. There's no denial again, not even impacts. So they can't even impact trick this. Why are they not bringing impacts? You can still bring a bandit and try and deny these walls, or a mute and try to deny those walls. You can still bring somebody with impacts and impact trick this hatch. But no, they're just letting the attacking team take what it wants, and I think that's been the real story here, is that they're not doing anything to really force the attacking team to work. You know, the only time that we saw them do something close to that was on that second round. Aintrip gonna get an early pick onto Troll now. Removing that twitch is gonna make it a bit easier on the objective, hopefully, but I mean, the only time that we saw them get close was that second round, where ultimately they lost because they couldn't just play for time. You know, they ended up folding to pressure from the CC side with both the plant wall open and that window. And Brainiac is down. Don't know exactly how. Not out just yet, but definitely going to be a bit of an issue. Nitro going... Oh, okay, that was nowhere near him. This is kind of the problem as that hatch gets opened courtesy of Brainiac. That's also kind of the problem with the Pulse, is that even though he has that utility and that intel, his Nitro is delayed. It's best to have somebody such as Aintrip or Gunny with him that has a Nitro, so that way they can get a very quick Nitro off of the intel provided by the Pulse scanner, instead of Pulse's Nitro, which is a few seconds late, because he has to close the scanner and then rip the Nitro, throw it, detonate it. Disco takes down one. here, and they seem to have a hold here on the round. As with about a minute left, they've lost Brainiac, they've lost Troll, so they've lost two really key supports here. They did, however, get the kitchen hatch open, which I think is purely because there was no real denial on it. Yazuyuki able to get one now, as he's going to continue to try and put pressure on this objective, but usually on this team as a whole, not really putting pressure on the objective. I don't know why Aintrip is still roaming with a minute left in a 5v3. At that point, you just want to try and save your manpower and, you know, wait for time. But as you can see now, it'll be Yazuyuki pushing forward here. 30 seconds left, so they need to get something moving. They need to get their momentum going, and they need to get a plant. They need to get an execute, because they don't have time. It's essentially going to be up to just Rico to try and rush in and get something done. Or at the very least, try and put pressure down. Yazuyuki will get one here. They'll be looking for a second. He's going to continue to put down the pressure. Downs Disco. Disco out courtesy of Recoil, actually. Who's going to continue to pressure that dirt side. LB1 dropping that to Mufasa. Pressing forward onto Ballistic. Gets caught on the corner, taking down, trading him out. Gunny takes down one. Recoil finishes off Frog. Trading him out for Yazuyuki. And just not enough time left in the round. I think that was... Frankly, I think that was on the attacking team. They spent too much time sort of dilly-dallying. Not doing enough. There was not enough pressure put on the defense. They left it down to the final 20 seconds. And it wasn't as though they had to clear a lot of utility. They cleared most of it. They had the kitchen hatch. They had the ability to play that vertical because they had the book, which has been a sort of constant with them. I mean, most of this lineup has sort of been constant. Or at the very least, it gets a good amount of it. So I think that there's some missed opportunity there for Skinwalkers in that round, and that they just spent so much time not really making a whole lot happen.
Attackers need to
You know, they did clear out Aintrip, which was important, because otherwise they would have almost certainly gotten flanked. But they needed to do a bit more than that. You know, they needed to... They needed to get an execute done sooner. And I think that they could have, but they didn't. It ended up costing them. And now, for the third time this half, we will see a defensive CC in Cash. Let's see how it goes. But so far, it has not gone well for this defending team. They are 0-2. The first round, it was no question. You know, they got steamrolled. Second round, it ended up coming down to the final two players. You know, 1v1 in those closing seconds. And ultimately, it was, I think, Aintrip was the last one left. He only had to wait, I mean, a second, less than, more, and it would have been set. So a Callie in play. I'll have to see how this factors into the round, but I do find that interesting. Mainly because she isn't really an operator that you see a whole lot. I think that she's a stronger pick on the site because of the fact that it's such a... that plat wall allows you to play from the back, to play a bit further away. I don't know why Gunny is still challenging this. This is just really risky, considering that he's going against the Callie. I mean, he hasn't been punished for it yet, but he's definitely playing with fire here. Troll getting just pot shots taken at him at this point. Nothing too major, but he's definitely bleeding a bit in health. Mufasa seemingly losing some health there. Don't know to what exactly, as Gunny is just continuing to engage Troll Hunter here. In sort of long-range combat, I'm surprised by Gunny's confidence here. As with about half the round remaining, plant wall is gone. You can see these Flores charges going to go in, try and open up certain areas of the objective. Possibly Gunny takes down Troll, so able to remove that Callie, able to remove a significant source of pressure, possibly from the defending side. You know, able to possibly alleviate that off of the off of the plant wall. Diffuser goes down. I think Brainiacs might be trying to turn into Fragmite for a second. He's going to just decide against it. Maybe look to rotate around somewhere else, but so far they have not seemed... They seem like they lost their mojo in this round. There's not really an organized push. They haven't really done a roam clear here. Wyver's going to get a pick of his own off of the roam, finally. Alerting the team to his presence, or the enemy team to his presence, the fact that he's still around there. But Brainiac's basically on his own. He's on an island trying to make this happen. Mufasa and Yazuyuki trying to maybe take down this last player, to take down Wyvers. And Yaza runs straight into the sightline of Gunny, who will get a quick double kill. Aintrip gets a headshot of his own. And Gunny will finish off the round, as you can see, by pokeballing the last player. But that round and that attack quickly fell apart for the for Skinwalkers. Looking at the scoreboard at half, 9-5-4-2-2, 5-5-3-2-1. So, good final round there. Good recovery by the defending team. Now going on to attack. We'll have to see how it goes for them. There seems to be some disconnect among the 5 players. There doesn't seem to be real leadership and coordination. And so I think that might become more pronounced on attack. You know, it's a lot easier to improvise a defense than it is to improvise an attack. So, we'll have to see how this goes here, but so far I'm seeing some questionable choices. There's not even a sightline here. There's usually a sightline. Sometimes you'll see a rotate. That Flores last round ended up turning it into a rotate. So there's definitely a question to be asked about that. This looks fine here, the red side. I think that it would be good, as they already have Barb there, but if they didn't, I would say to put Barb. And, I mean, there's not a whole lot of other questions. Ballistic's already taking a bit of a gung-ho approach, as he's trying to push forward here. He has control of cons already. Nobody's roaming on that side, which I do find a bit strange. Actually, I guess Yaza's roaming, but he's miles away, as the rest of this push seems to unfold. On the CSC side, Aintrip got that wall open very quickly. Don't know what exactly was on the wall. I'm going to assume that it was very little, if anything. I think Troll might be looking to maybe capitalize here, get a pick off of something. Ballistic taken down there by what? Recoil. And this Jaeger player, Recoil, he's going to be pretty key to the rest of this round. Troll taken down by Gunny, actually, as he'll secure stock side for them. Don't know why they're not looking to play it, possibly. I mean, they do have frags, or they've already used all their frags, so they can't really play it, at least very effectively. Wyvers takes down Recoil, but still that cons and bedroom side not fully cleared out yet. Quite interesting that with about a minute left, Yaza is still offside. Admittedly, he's essentially adjacent from where he's at. Don't know if Wyvers is going to just try and drone this out, actually. Maybe waiting for somebody to show up. Gunny takes a double kill for himself, picking off Mufasa. It's up to just Brainiac and Yazuyuki, only on the angle. Brainiac will get one. Aintrip looking for the plan now, right on default. Don't know if Brainiac realizes that Yazuyuki gets a second, bring it back to 2v2 now. Aintrip sticks the plan. Yaza's gonna now try and get his way back onto site. Flash goes out. Brainiac blinded now. Gonna maybe just sit back for a bit. 3k from Gunny, maybe looking for the fourth, possibly pushing forward, trying to finish up Brainiac. Brainiac able to get a double kill for himself. Aintrip the last one left now on that rappel. on this plat wall. Don't know if Brainiac realizes it. He'll swing across, and A-Trip able to save the round for his team. Give themselves a 4-3. And I dare say that we're seeing a bit of a comeback from this attacking team, from Spectres. They've somehow put everything back together. It was looking dire for a moment. You know, they went down 0-4. But then they weren't able to quickly, you know, recover, which is the key part. Is that they quickly got themselves back up. Bros Kevin at 45. Yeah, that was confusing. But this attacking team able to really put it together now. Spectres seems to have really made a turnaround.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs. Ten seconds to go.
More reinforced.
5 seconds to insertion. Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Having my +1. Kona station in place.
So, on to this next round. We'll have to see how this goes. I do find the Nook play interesting. She's got frags and she's got a pretty good gun, but she doesn't bring a whole lot in terms of utility. So whoever's playing it has to be able to get frags. Otherwise, it's a bit of a wasted pick. I don't know why Ballistic is just doing circles. But I'll have to see how this goes, as it seems to be another basement hold, or actually the first basement hold that we're seeing from Skinwalkers, but just another one in terms of the game as a whole. Troll Hunter watching this dirt side, but nobody really pressuring it just yet. I mean, Wyver's just trying to wind his way through dirt to maybe make an impact here, but nothing just yet. Interesting to see this blue hold. You know, it's not very heavily held, even though it's such a key part of the site, because you can effectively deny or stymie any push towards either site when you put a player in here, as long as they stay alive. But you can't hold it this loosely. I mean, soft hatch, a singular ADS not even covering the shield, a shield, and a barbed wire, and one mute jammer. It's just not how you really want to hold this. You can see Ballistic inching forward now. That'll be Recall swinging him right into a free fire and into a free kill for Ballistic. That'll be Disco now getting a frag as they look to actually drop onto site. That was a big risk that does not pay off at all. Brainiac gets a free kill this time. Troll Hunter will get one. And now, very quickly, the tides have turned. It seemed Wyver swung by Troll Hunter will get himself a double kill on the objective. Gunny the last one left here in basically a 2v1. Brainiac holding this angle, waiting for somebody to show up. Gunny will finish off Mufasa and swings across, gets a quick 3v1 clutch for his team. And now brings it up to 4-4 for these two teams. Surprising to see, to say the least. Congrats to Yasuyuki for hitting double digits. And I think same to Gunny. With that 3v1 clutch, he's brought himself up there. He's now top fragging this whole lobby, and he's been really stepping up these past few rounds. You know, he's been sort of the centerpiece. It seems like he's the centerpiece of the team, and in this past round, he was certainly the centerpiece of the attack, because they got off to a pretty good start. You know, they cleared out blue, got rid of that player. Got rid of, I think, recoil as well. Or no, it was Yasuyuki. So they got themselves in a good spot. And then, after that, you know, they sort of sputtered. They threw 2 picks at the defending team, made it very easy for them to collect, and so that really did not help.
10 seconds to insertion.
Is that they just gave up 2 kills very quickly. I think some poor decisions being made there. You know, having a player hatch drop, not watching the church side where you should assume that there's an anchor. I think not really pressuring Moto could have at the very least opened up the hatch. You know. And speaking of opening the hatch, oh, there's a Hibana, but for a second I was worried as though there was not a hard breach, but if there was not, this would be a very difficult site because of the fact that it's very much a site that revolves around getting control of the hatches. So having Hibana is very helpful. Having a Cade to deny that is also pretty helpful. And also, obviously, the other choice is possibly, you know, putting on some impact tricks. So, you know, bring a Lesion, a Melusi, a Wamai, someone with impacts to keep that wall closed for a teeny bit. As Recoil is just sitting here in strip, and I'm a bit confused by what's going on here. I think Gunny is still waiting. Yep, spots him now on the hunt here. I think Recoil is just, he's unawares. Maybe a bit of a distraction by Wyvers. They're both trying to, no, that's actually Disco actually on the door. Gunny needs to inch forward here to try and make this happen. Maybe Disco needs to, and Recoil runs away again. They're looking for this clear here, and they're doing a fairly good job. Swinging across now is going to be Gunny, taken down by Recoil. Is going to actually do a swing of his own, gets almost a second kill there on a Disco, confirmed, and now finally traded up by Aintrip, but, oh boy, that was a risk, to say the least. I mean, Recoil definitely did his job and then some. That was too slow of a clear. You have him in strip. You have him surrounded. He has no way out besides to throw an impact at a wall or run out this door. So just have a player watch that and then send Gunny in. Wyvers gets 1, so they do manage to bring it back to even. Actually, in fact, give themselves a mana advantage that they take out Mufasa as well as Troll Hunter. But still. And so instead, you guys just play it too slow. This, you know, you guys as the Spectres play it too slow. Allow him to rotate away, maybe give him more options to escape. And then he goes off to Bathroom where he ends up just getting 2 picks because two players just throw themselves at him. Swing the same spot the same way. So all he has to do really is just hold the angle. And finally, Aintrip, you know, stops the bleeding. He goes off with a different angle. Able to capitalize using that. But it really should not be that difficult. 20 seconds left here. Aintrip going to now drop the hatch. He has Moto hatch. He has Kitchen hatch. Pushing in now. And trying to find Brainiac. Will spot him. Lowers him. He's now down but not out. Yasuyuki the last one left. And they 1v3 trying to make this happen. Low time though. So all he has to really do is just wait. Has to stay alive though. And unfortunately can't. Aintrip puts on the gas. Pedal to the metal really. Capable of getting that final frag and getting his team actually into the lead for the first time in this whole game. They're on a 5-round rally, a real tear. Have the momentum in their favor, the wind in their sails, and I don't know what's gonna stop them for this defending team, because this defending team seems so far a bit inept, maybe. I mean, that was a good roam, but then the anchors didn't do enough to really capitalize off of the roam. There wasn't enough work afterwards. In the first round, it was just they ultimately ended up losing on the objective, which seems to be the common thread here, is that although their roam is decent, Skinwalkers cannot anchor. They cannot finish the job.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
They cannot put the nail in the coffin. Sure, might be able to kneecap the guy. Might be able to, you know, put him into a position where you can finish him off. but they can't execute. They can't finish. If they can figure that out, then they should be able to recover. For this attacking team, I mean, you've got to be hyped. Because you went off of an ugly start to the first half. Got 2 round wins. Now got, I think, 3 in the second half on the attack. You have the wind in your sails. You have seemingly the whole world working in your favor. We'll run out, and it appears no, Mufasa, I think, faking it. Don't know exactly why. So he just kind of wasted an impact on nothing. Now we'll have to see how this goes. I think we're going to see for the first time a bandit trick, courtesy of Brainiac. So he's just going to wait for this to go through. Cali Lance goes down, as well as the thermite charge, but the bandit able to stop it, effectively defusing it. And I wonder, are they going to... Do they realize? Do they realize that he's sitting there putting down his just... This isn't how you deal with a bandit trick. You might, you know, you can thermite juggle in response, but that's not really how you want to respond. I think they're gonna put down the levels here. And he has 1 left. No, he actually has none left. He's lost all of them. And they will finally defeat him just by brute forcing it, really. You know, it does take them a bit of time. He certainly wasted about a minute off of that, and usually that wall was open up in the first minute, less than. But because he tricked it, they wasted a good amount of time, and obviously wasted one of those 2 thermite charges, so they don't really have a whole lot of choice in terms of what walls they get to open now, because they used that first one. And they don't have a Maverick. They have it available, they're just not bringing it. So now, flat wall is open here. Ballistic's going to inch forward, sets down the Osa, trying to maybe move forward here. Smoke going out. No diffuser, though. I'm a bit confused. Ballistic going to finally put himself in a position to defend that. Nacho goes out, just scooped by it, not killed, though. Ancient finishes off Patrol Hunter, and somebody's got to step up and try and deny this plant, possibly. Yazuyuki takes down Livers. Plant is stuck. Ancient gets a double kill for himself, maybe looking for a third, possibly. You're going to swing across to that catch side, trying to take down what Recall sends out a Nitro, trying to get another one, spewing fire with the pistol, but unable to get the frag, though. Recoil guns down A-Trip. It's a 3v3 on the post plant now. Ballistic in a key position here. He's playing that shield. He needs to just basically stay alive as long as he can. Why are you peeking this, though? Gunny also in a pretty important position. He has this flank now. The element of surprise takes down Recoil. 2v3 now, as that'll be Ballistic getting a frag. Headshot courtesy of him and Gunny. And now Yazuyuki runs out. Finished off by Gunny the Yana. Able to make a play off of the CC window. And again, I mean, Gunny and in general, that CC window is a real important important part of this objective, as it's now 6-4. Just steamrolling this defense here, the Spectres. But Gunny has been really putting in the work these past rounds. He's really put the pedal to the metal. So, and we're clearly seeing the attacking team, or pardon me, the defending team, not being able to keep up. But and talk quickly about that CC window. I mean, we saw something similar happen on the defending half of Aintrip and the rest of ZR Spectres. We saw something similar where they had to deal with, I don't remember exactly who, I'm pretty sure it was Finka. You know, push in and try and swing the Raptor side, but ultimately failed. And so, you know, this window here, it's sort of underappreciated, underutilized, I feel, because it can become very valuable. You know? We just saw in the last round, because he held this window and because he actually pushed from it, he was able to get a pick onto Gunny, alleviated the pressure off of Ballistic, which allowed them to essentially guarantee a round win. And then, you know, he pushed in, made his way onto the objective, and finally got that done.
Having my +1. Throwing the bait. Heavily defensive.
So now, as you can see, gonna send out some utility to try and clear this up. And wall's already open. If there was any denial on it, it was just a mute jammer, which is very easy for them to remove. And 30 seconds in, like I said very quickly, that wall is opened up, and Brainiac might be looking to possibly just sit on site, play this very important position. I don't know why. I don't see a real need to do that. Gunny takes down what recoil. The Jaeger down might be the beginning of the end here, as he's going to just continue to really pour it on here. Putting himself below in that stock side, maybe looking for a vertical pick. See Brainiac playing on red, which is not really a spot that you can throw a frag on from below. So he's gonna really be the key here. Can he deny the push? Can he, at the very least, you know, get a pick off where he's at? Because if not, it's gonna be really bad news. Disco takes down Mufasa, traded out, however, by Troll running the Ella Shoddy. Just spray and pray, and this is not looking good. Gunny takes down one. Aimtrip looks for the plant. Actually prevented by Yazayuki, making a big play. Gets a quick double kill. Accompanied by Trollinger getting a second kill for himself. It's up to Just Ballistic. They've suddenly shifted the tides here. Ballistic trying to push forward here. Potatoes a bit, and all Trollinger tries to do is just spam R2. And that's the round. Trying to make a final rally here as Skinwalkers. I mean, they keeping their hopes alive at this point. But that could have gone very badly for them. I think there was some general, you know, negligence on the attacking side for them to do that. Because they had sight. They had a strong man advantage. They had forced, essentially, the hand of Skinwalkers to do a retake without the man advantage. And then they have two players sit basically on top of each other. So it's and neither of them were paying any sort of attention to the side that actually matters, which is Khans, because they haven't done anything over there. You kind of have to assume that there's going to be some sort of, you know, some sort of roamer over there or something, because you've cleared basically everything else. You know, you've taken Flatwall, you've put some pressure on Stock and Lounge. If there's anybody in red, which I don't think they really checked, you know, you've sort of forced them away. You've almost certainly cleared out Rafters. So the only thing left really is Khans. And because they weren't paying any attention, you know, you have one guy on a plant, and the other one's just standing on island, not paying attention to anything. It's 2 free picks. And then the other guy, he ends up losing his gunfight. I don't know exactly what happened to him. But because of that, they ended up very quickly forfeiting their man advantage. And that ultimately cost them the round. Is that they gave their momentum away, and instead it flowed to Skinwalkers, who are now 1 round away from pushing this game to overtime. I do kind of hope that this turns into overtime, because I would really hate to see that just be a fluke. But it could end up just being a fluke, you know, one last gasp, really, for the attacking team, or defending team, pardon me, for Skinwalkers. So I'm a bit confused by this lineup here. It's on basement. We're seeing a kitchen push here from the attacking team. Again, the Nook, I'm not a huge fan of it, especially considering that it's being run by Ballistic and Wyvers, mainly, in this case, Wyvers, has a .3 KD at the moment. but a bit more concerned about the defense. I mean, you have a Rook, which, yes, Rook is strong now, but I think that there are better options in terms of utility, because this game isn't all about health. You know, yes, his utility is great, until you get shot in the face. Mufasa is down there, and that's going to be a pretty key player to stay alive, but they don't have a Thunderbird, which I think is a bit more important than having a Rook. Troll takes down Gunny. He gets caught between a rock and a hard place, and very quickly able to capitalize as the Cav. And that's the other thing is, why Cav? Cav basically thrives on teams that are uncoordinated, on teams that don't drone, because her utility is basically just that she's quiet, which isn't great. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Her guns are mediocre, so it's really just about, can she get something done? She's also pretty easy to clear. Disco takes down one. Recoil will actually trade him out there. So both players gonna drop on side. That'll be Ballistic and Wyvers, or pardon me, Aintrip, but Wyvers also on the objective essentially. Aintrip backing up a bit, having to deal with that goo mine. Still stuck in his planter. Wyvers trying to push forward now. Trying to get this done, but so far unable to. Flash is going out. Aintrip actually falls, lands a Brainiac there. It's up to this Wyvers with overtime on the line here. Can he pull this together? Can he get this round win for his team? He's outnumbered, and it's low time.
15 seconds to go.
You see now pushing forward. Mufasa gives the 1v1 to Wyvers, and now Wyvers gets a double kill. 7 to 5 now. That'll be the game. Wyvers